Medical information obtained from our website or the live show is not intended to be a substitute for professional care. If your pet has, or you suspect they might have, an illness or other medical condition, you should consult a healthcare provider. The opinions expressed on this radio program are not necessarily those of all Paws Pet Talk, this radio show, or their sponsors.
And now live in this studio, it's the All Paws Pet Talk call-in radio show with the valuable knowledge and expertise of our panel guests. Ready to take your calls. Listen for the phone number so you may call in live. Take it away, panel.
Hello, welcome to this week's Annie G Pet Show. Annie G and Brian P. Hello, Brian P.
Hello, I love
please.
you. Won't you tell me your name?
I've got just the person to deal with you later.
Come on, we were talking doors right before we went on the air.
Were. And the person who's going to be dealing with you later is in the third segment, and that is world-renowned dog trainer Martin Dealey. And it's so appropriate today because you won't shut up.
And just please ask him not to put that horrible collar on me again. It hurts so much when he shocks me. It hurts so much.
And he's actually going to tell us how to stop a dog that incessantly barks.
Hey, listen, you should just be glad that I don't walk around peeing on things in the office, right?
Well, that's ties us in with it. Did you deliberately know all this and do these segues? I'm so proud of you.
No, I'm very proud of myself.
Because you did not know this, right?
No.
The listeners who are wondering who the heck they're listening to, but it's the Annie G Pet Show and the Brian P Pet Show. And
Brian P, I get it.
Brian P. And we're here to educate and entertain you, hopefully, about all things pet and animal related, and sometimes they have absolutely no relation to either of those two,
None
and we
whatsoever.
don't really care. We're here to have fun with you.
Bingo.
First guest is going to be talking to us about a product called Feed Away, which is to stop inappropriate elimination, is how we like to term it in the veterinary field, for cats. But it could apply to you.
Does it deal with like older guys and their prostates?
I am going to find out for you.
Okay, I'm anxious to know.
In the meantime, welcome to the show. This is the time when Brian and I usually have a rant and a rave. Well, actually, I usually do, and Brian calms me down.
Well, a rave on.
And actually, I decided we'll just go straight to the rave.
You didn't even recognize that.
No. We were discussing before the show, Brian has more years upon himself than I do.
Yes.
And
I'm longer in the tooth.
Longer in the tooth.
My tooth is now nipping at the bottom of my
like
chin.
A saber tooth.
Yes.
No. And it is funny when you're born even just a few years behind. The music is the most definitive of aging.
Yes.
Prospects.
Will music save
then
our
I told
soul?
you what I was listening to in the 70s, and you said, but you're listening to them after they've all kind of been around the clock.
Well, not all of them, but certainly
right.
Jim. Jim was gone.
Jim Morris. So,
but
anyway,
if there's a rock and roll heaven,
moving on,
they got a hell of a band.
People will notice a trend throughout this show, which is basically me trying to get you to be quiet.
I know. It's not easy, is it? I know. In
fact, Martin Dealey, who we had on the show last time, was so concerned that you barely said anything. He thought I'd hurt you.
I know. No. Well, what it was it was very consequential information, and you guys were more than running with it beautifully. And so my inane contribution, be that as it may, was completely not just unnecessary, it would have been horribly inappropriate during most of it.
And if you've never heard Brian before on the radio, you've certainly heard him before a lot of times on the TV, as he is very famous and was very. Did you notice that English?
Yes, he was very famous.
He was very famous.
Right. kind of right up there with Spotted Dick.
Yes. Very
Brian P. and Spotted Dick.
They're going to think we've been drinking. We haven't, but we did discuss the fact we should drink before we come on the air.
We should.
Alcohol.
We'd be really sedate.
We'd probably be asleep.
Yeah.
But anyway, you used to be in General Hospital and Ada's enough, and now you've got this new program that is out, which is the In-Betweeners
on MTV. We have finished our 12-week run. We are awaiting some word from above, MTV, please.
Yeah, well, I think it's a good show.
Positive thoughts. Thank you. It is. It's very funny. It's a funny show.
So, Brian, you're also very much an athlete. Do you still hold the record for a celebrity marathon in L.A.?
Yes, I do.
You do? That is incredible.
Well, thank you. And actually, it is a little bit of a bragging right, because when I set that in 88, it was a much tougher course. It was a horrible course because they wanted to start downtown near the Coliseum and end downtown, and they wanted to hit all the council people's districts. And it was riddled with hills. It was riddled with challenges. And they have reconfigured the course multiple times since then in pursuit of faster times.
So what was your time?
2:58:45.
And there was just the one contestant, right?
Yes. And I was in a vehicle But hey, come on! If we're gonna pick up on little things like that,
But I should point out, of course, you're married to another fantastic athlete.
No, I'm married to a fantastic athlete. I was a moderate to mediocre athlete.
You're married to a fantastic athlete,
and a sexy chick, by the way.
The beloved Kathy Johnson of gymnast fame. So good for her.
Yeah, good for me. I was going to say, come on.
Actually, I kind of feel bad for her.
I don't blame you.
Listen, we spoke a couple of weeks ago. Do you remember I told you when people buy real Christmas trees to be very careful?
I do remember that.
And why was that?
I'm curious. Well, because that they could come with part of the insect kingdom as well.
Yes, and so one of our technicians buys a Christmas tree yesterday and, opens it out of the netting thing, and about 200 ticks fell on her carpet.
God.
And
It is so disgusting.
Which is why I'm saying, please, 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 get your animals on that tick control right now, because this is a real problem. Now, that's bad enough, but our doctor down there was telling me a story about some friends of hers got one of these trees.
Yes.
Brings it in, takes the netting off as the tree warms up because of the heat of the house. Out comes a big snake. Can you imagine decorating?
No, I think you're doing everything you can single-handedly to kill the natural tree business. And I'm happy to say we went artificial tree years ago, and I have never regretted it.
And, of course, I will point out dangerous things to have for pets.
Yes.
You've got to watch them if you're going to have them. The tinsel, which cats love, and that not only binds their intestines, but actually cuts through them like a wire.
Oh, my God.
You'll see some of the worst intestinal damage done by tinsel to cats. The other one, of course, is the glass baubles and whatnot. Or as my cat likes to try and climb the entire tree and then bring the whole thing crashing down, usually at 2 a.m, where you think you're being robbed or something.
Well, that's a given.
Candles, obviously. I remember last year when we bought the ready-lit Christmas tree and I happened to come back and the thing was on fire.
Yeah.
Isn't that marvelous?
Yeah.
So things like that.
One question, though. Why did you leave it on when you were gone?
Was testing it. Well, I did. I
was testing it. Apparently you were testing the survivability of the animals in the house and, in fact, the house's capacity to withstand fire as well.
It's so funny you should say that as well, Brian, because that was my first thought was, we would have lost the whole house, but we'd have lost all the animals in there, and that was really just, it was so bad.
Fortunately, you guys are wonderful as a veterinary facility because it sounds like you're a little derelict at home.
Pets are the best neglected pets out there. The other one, of course, and we've covered before, and I want to bring it up again because it's not just pets, it's humans too. Did you just say
again?
Again.
I want to bring it up again.
Yes, again.
Okay.
It's my Scandinavian background.
I like that. You got the Scandinavian coloring.
1/4 Danish. I won't say which quarter.
Will that make you 1/4 Edam?
Yeah, there you go, Gouda. No, that's Dutch. The sheets that you put in the dryer. The sheets. You know the dryer sheet things?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah. The anti-cling.
Horribly carcinogenic.
You know what? I'm happy to hear you say that because years ago we stopped using them. Not because of carcinogenic concerns, because they're like non-biodegradable.
And people are using it with their pet. Just awful. So listen,
they're drying their animals at the same time with those sheets?
Not the animals in there. No, they're drying the animal beds.
Because I was going to ask what the maximum load is on animals in a...
So anyway, I did conduct an experiment on this. I didn't put the cat in the dryer, though I have done that previously by mistake.
I know you have, yes.
If you put like 5 drops of essential lavender oil or something like that on the wet bedding, whatever, once you've washed it and put it in, it is incredible how that works, and it's completely safe.
Very cool.
So that is my tip.
Very cool.
We're going to get a degree of sanity back after the break.
A degree. Hopefully not moving too extremely
and we're going to find out how to what we can get to stop you peeing around the house.
I know. I'd just be happy if I could stop peeing on myself.
I agree, because I got to sit next to you.
Listen, agree, too.
If people haven't already switched off, they probably will now.
Yes.
But if you can just bear through a little longer, we honestly have a great guest coming up who is Brad. You are listening to the Annie G Pet Show, and we will be right back.